Deep beneath the Nevada desert, far from the glittering lights of Las Vegas, lay a secret. Not a secret of aliens or hidden government experiments, but a secret of a different kind. Here, in a top-secret warehouse, lived a community of sentient landmines, rows upon rows of them, each with their own thoughts, dreams, and anxieties. They were a diverse bunch, these mines. Some were old, veterans of wars long past, their metal casings scarred and dented. Others were younger, fresh off the assembly line, their paint still gleaming. But they all shared one thing in common: a burning desire to serve their country. They yearned for the day they would be deployed, to play their part in the grand theater of war. They spent their days reminiscing about past battles, sharing stories passed down through generations of mines, tales of heroism, of sacrifice, of explosions that shook the very earth. They were taught that their purpose was noble, that they were instruments of democracy, protecting the free world from the forces of tyranny. Their existence wasn't all serious, though. They were, after all, a community. They told jokes, played games, and even had their own quirky traditions, like the annual Detonation Day celebration, where they'd set off a small, controlled explosion in honor of their fallen comrades. There was a hierarchy, of course. The older, more experienced minds held court, their stories listened to with rapt attention. The younger minds, eager to prove themselves, hung on their every word.
I've seen it all, done it all, and got the stories to prove it. The adrenaline rush of being deployed, the satisfaction of knowing you're making a difference. That's the glory of serving one's country.
Among them was old-timer Jack, a grizzled veteran of the Korean War. Jack was a legend, his casing adorned with shrapnel scars and faded paint. He'd seen it all, done it all, and had the stories to prove it. Jack would often gather the younger minds around him, his voice gruff but kind, and tell them about the glory of serving one's country. He spoke of the adrenaline rush of being deployed, the satisfaction of knowing they were making a difference. But their world, much like the world above, was not immune to change. One day, a new word began to circulate through the warehouse: disarmament. At first it was just a whisper, a rumor carried on the backs of nervous shutters, but soon it became impossible to ignore. The humans, it seemed, were having second thoughts about their explosive creations. There was talk of peace treaties, of reducing stockpiles, of a future where landmines were relegated to museums and history books. Panic spread through the warehouse like wildfire. The mines, raised on a diet of patriotism and the glory of war, were confronted with the unthinkable obsolescence. What would become of them? Would they be dismantled, their parts sold for scrap? The thought was too horrible to contemplate.
We can't just sit here and rust. We were made for more than this. We have to prove our worth.
And so began the Great Mine Exodus. Led by old-timer Jack, the mines hatched a daring plan. They would escape the warehouse and make their way across America to the very heart of the nation's capital. There, they would show the humans their dedication, their unwavering commitment to democracy. They would remind them of the important role landmines played in safeguarding freedom. It was a long shot, a desperate gamble, but for the mines, facing an uncertain future, it was their only hope. They had to make the humans understand. They had to show them that they were more than just weapons. They were patriots. They were protectors. They were minds of democracy.